This is TechVibe Radio, your front row seat to Pittsburgh's technology and innovation ecosystem. TechVibe is brought to you by Compunetics at Compunetics.com, Chorus Call at ChorusCall.com, Highmark at Highmark.com, Huntington Bank at Huntington.com, Kindling at thekindlingagency.com, PNC Bank at PNC.com, and Savier at Savier.com. Here are your hosts, Audrey Russo and Jonathan Kirsting of the Pittsburgh Technology Council, coming at you from the Huntington Bank studios. Good morning. So glad to have you here listening to TechVibe Radio. Audrey, it's Sunday, and it's our favorite day of the week.
Love being here. We got great guests today.
Yes.
Happy to dive into the topic. So why don't you set us up for it?
I will. Well, first off, you know how excited I get when I see someone that's in the marketplace. They have a practice going on of some sort, and they see a problem while they're managing a business, and they realize there's a technical solution for that. And I like it when people like actually decide, I'm going to become a tech entrepreneur while they're doing something completely different in the middle of it, for lack of a better term. And today we're going to be talking to Wendy McSparron of Admirra. And Wendy, we're so excited to have you here because, first off, it's not every day we get to talk to somebody who is a therapist and then has decided to start their own tech company to solve a problem.
Yeah, it doesn't happen often.
Yeah, so I say only in Pittsburgh, right?
Yeah.
That you're going to do something kind of cool like this. But I'm really impressed with Admirra because of what you guys do. I mean, the idea that you're building the specialized CRM just for mental health services, for therapists, because very unique needs that you have for that. And being able to build something to run a better business to, at the end of the day, what? Help your patients.
Right.
Exactly. And that's what it's all about. It gets me very excited that you build a technology that helps the therapist become more efficient so they can help their patients. And that's what we're all about, helping people, right?
Yeah, it's a good thing. And I certainly haven't done this by myself. So
yeah, well, that's the other kind of fun part of your story is that, you kind of have your husband as your co-founder, which I think is so cool.
That's right. Yeah. Well, he's the tech genius.
Right.
I'm just the person with the problem who complained a lot.
So give us a little bit about your background.
Yeah.
So I'm a licensed clinical social worker. I have been practicing providing mental health services for 35 and a half years. I was a baby when I came out of school at Pitt, and I've worked a lot of different places in the Pittsburgh area. Angry kids were kind of my thing, and doing family therapy. And in 2002, I had this amazing mentor who encouraged me to come into private practice with her. And so I was a solo practitioner from 2002 until the pandemic happened. And so in 2020, when the pandemic happened, several of my colleagues decided to retire or go different directions. And I know I had another 10 years of this in me. And John, my husband, saw how busy I was in terms of referrals and clients, and I couldn't keep up. And he said, rather than turning people away, why don't you think about building a group practice and bringing in other therapists to help your clients? You can help more people if there's more of you. And so we started working on that. And then all the other challenges with onboarding and streamlining and technology gaps that existed really became evident. And John, being the technology person he is, he toggled together all kinds of disparate systems for me. And some of my other colleagues got a look at it and said, we want that. And he said, it would be easier for me to just build software for you.
I love that. I can just build a software.
He's like, I can just build software. He's been doing that for 35 years.
I'm glad you have him as a husband. That's pretty
good. I know.
Good.
It worked out really well. And he's been in tech startup for, 25 of those years. And, he said, he says, I love a problem, and this is a problem, and let's build it. And so together with my practice and then some of my colleagues who became our alpha and beta testers, we built it and we did a soft launch in May of 2024 and then went to market in July. And we've been fortunate enough to be part of Innovation Works Alpha Lab. So we've been an accelerator. And we're going to graduate December 4th. So
nice.
That's coming up. And it's been a bit of a wild ride.
I can only imagine.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
And so are you still a clinician?
I am, and I
So while all this is going on, you're still seeing clients?
still have to pay the mortgage.
oh my goodness.
Okay.
Yeah, John has a day job too. So, I mean, we're both
Wow.
working 2 full-time jobs.
You are
basically.
living the entrepreneur
That's the
lifestyle
life. You
here
have the
in
life.
Pittsburgh. That
It
is
is.
what it's about. You're
It is.
hustling, man,
And
all
so
the way around.
who are your customers?
So small to mid-size private practices and
In mental health?
In mental health specifically. We see a potential opportunity in other verticals in healthcare for small to mid-size clinicians that want to stay private and not be part of a larger system. Whether that's chiropractic or wellness or nutrition, dietitians. Like there's
So
people.
that's a niche, but it's in demand. It's a growing market.
Yeah, for sure. The mental health situation in our country, I mean, we have a mental health crisis, and access is such a problem. And getting matched to a clinician that is a good fit who can actually help you with your needs is also a major bottleneck to being able to get services. 1 in 4 adults has a mental health condition in the United States, and it's upwards of 70 days before they can even get an intake appointment.
That's amazing.
And so
70
walk
days.
us through what you've built.
So it is sort of a CRM or customer relationship management software, but it's not like the traditional one that you think about for sales and marketing, right? We know the big CRMs that are out there, the HubSpots, the Salesforce, those kinds of things. And we did look at those sort of solutions, but they're just far too cumbersome for somebody like me without a tech background to really wrap my fingers around. John could do a lot of that sort of stuff for me, but it didn't really help other people in the same situation where you have to have a system that is easy to use and can help you manage your workflow efficiently and effectively. Before this, I was using spreadsheets, and it was a nightmare.
That's too mechanical,
It
too
was-
manual.
it was-
And so you
Yeah.
have to make sure that the software is HIPAA compliant,
That's
right?
correct.
Oh, yeah.
That is correct. So yeah, as we have been building it, we have been building all of the compliance components into the software that we need to do, and making sure that we're following HIPAA
So is
regulations.
this like an electronic medical record for a small business?
It's different than
It's different,
electronic
okay.
medical health record. There are electronic health records out there, and I use one. The challenge is it doesn't do this onboarding piece, this
Okay,
customer
so we'll talk about that.
relationship
Okay.
and nurturing piece, which is what Admirra really
That's
does.
what I'm really curious about, because I think,
Okay,
yeah,
so
that's
we'll
such a
come back and talk about
differentiator,
that.
and being able to do that to me is just really exciting. It's all the way around. I'm like, man, this is so cool. That's why I'm so excited to have you here hanging out with us, because, like I said, I get really pumped when I see someone that sees a problem out there, like, no, we're gonna do something about it while you continue to work your day job.
That's right, yeah.
And having your husband work, I'm sure that creates just even more fun, because it's like, wow, it's become a true family endeavor. That's
It
awesome.
certainly has, yeah.
Very cool.
It's been
stuff.
good for us, though. It's been
Yeah.
a good thing.
I can imagine so. So we're going to come right back on it. We're taking just a super fast break, and we're going to be talking more with Wendy McSparron from Admirra. If you go to admirra.com, that's ADMIRRA.com, you can really see what it's all about and get a little tour of how it all works. I think you'll be pretty impressed. And while you're at it, go to pghtech.org and learn about the Tech Council and how we love helping tech companies succeed. This has been Jonathan Kirsting,
And this is Audrey Russo.
and we'll see you in just about 60 seconds or so. The Pittsburgh Technology Council has been helping our region's tech companies succeed since 1983. The Pittsburgh Technology Council helps its members meet new customers, hire top talent, make headlines, and have a strong voice in government. From startup to multinational, the PTC helps tech companies and advanced manufacturers of all sizes. See how we can help your venture grow at pghtech.org. That's pghtech.org. Compunetics is the leading developer of unified voice, video, and data collaboration and conferencing applications for the service provider, government, and unique workflow applications. The Summit Olympus and Evergreen platforms, driven by their encrypted user interfaces, enable powerful and secure collaboration. Combined with world-class support and innovative professional services, Compunetics delivers the right solution every time. Learn more at compunetics.com. Every company needs to attract and keep talented people. To do it, you need a strong company story told by those who experience it every day, your employees. So invite your people to be your brand voice and let the Kindling Culture Agency gather and ignite your stories to engage and attract your people. Learn how at sparksomething.big.com. That's sparksomething.big.com. Your dial is set to TechVibe Radio, brought to you by Compunetics, Chorus Call, Highmark, Huntington Bank, Kindling, PNC Bank, and Savier. Here are your hosts, Audrey Russo and Jonathan Kirsting of the Pittsburgh Technology Council, coming at you from the Huntington Bank studios. Welcome back. So happy you're spending your Sunday morning hanging out with TechVibe Radio. We're giving you that look, that peer inside what's happening in Pittsburgh to make it just the city that we love, Audrey. It's people like Wendy McSparron building companies like Admirra out there shaking it, making things happen.
I love it. She comes to the table with a lot of experience and a desire to solve a big problem. So thank you for being with us. And let's talk about this onboarding process for therapists. So if people are listening and they have a small practice, I don't know enough about that. So why don't you let us know?
Well, referrals come a couple of different ways. They could be phone calls. Some practices have HIPAA-compliant text, so they could receive a text, or a client, potential client, could fill out a form on their website. And then prior to Admirra, that would often just go into an email box. It could be a shared email box, or it could be your admin staff person's email box. And one of the challenges with that is, as you all know, with how many emails we all get, it can get buried in there and things can fall through the cracks. And the same thing with text messaging. There was no real great place to capture everything. And if somebody was off, then a client might not hear from somebody for a period of time. With Admirra, you can customize your referral form and it can live out on your website. Your admin staff can access it and fill it out if they're talking to you on the phone. If they text you, you can get their phone number, set up a time to call them, and just gather the information that you might need. Things like, what are the concerns that are bringing you in? Do you have insurance? What is your insurance? Do we take your insurance? What kind of practitioner are you looking for? What kind of availability are you looking for? And the other beautiful thing in Admirra is we have a practitioner management piece. So that referral form that the client fills out or the admin fills out for the client, there's a matching form for the therapist. And we have a therapist matching tool that connects the top matches for that client coming in with the practitioners within your practice.
So John's building some pretty spicy algorithms there to make those matches going. I like this guy.
And then it's based on availability, right?
Well, there's availability, and then there's also insurance, right? So, so many people seeking mental health services don't really understand what their benefit coverage is. I mean, lots of times when you're looking for mental health services, you're in distress and you want
it's the last thing you're thinking about.
You're not thinking about how this is getting paid for. Right. But you also don't want to put more stress on somebody to get a bill that they weren't expecting if they don't understand their deductible, their copay, or their co-insurance.
Absolutely, right.
So John also built a function that we can, with a click of a button, verify the insurance within Admirra. And we support up to 1,800 different insurances that we can verify. And it immediately populates. And we have this beautiful form that we can upload into the electronic health record and share with the client and tell them exactly what their out-of-pocket cost is going to be before they start therapy. So they can also make an informed decision about whether or not they can commit to that.
Everybody should be doing that. I mean, across so many times, like, you have this thing and it's like, okay, but no one tells you what it's going to cost. No, it's just like you just do it because you say, you got to do it.
Right.
So that's really great to be upfront and just have that understanding.
Yeah.
And then I'm assuming this saves you a lot of manual time from having to do this stuff as a therapist, trying to figure this all out and match people up and everything. So
Yeah.
talk about being able to really quickly help somebody.
Yeah,
It's
it's
so
on
cool.
average saving 2 to 3 hours a week for or 2 to 3 hours a day for
Whoa.
my admin staff. The amount of time they were spending on
Okay.
the whole process, Admirra has streamlined it and cut about 2 hours out of their workday, so that
Wow.
now they can do other things that have been backing up and that we need to deal with. So it's been a big game changer.
I'm assuming the marketplace is saying, "Whoa, tell us more." I'm sure showing this to various customers. They got to be pretty impressed just seeing that the time savings there alone have to be a conversation starter.
Yeah, we're definitely getting some traction because we're a new startup. We are working on funds for marketing and such. And so we haven't done a ton of marketing yet. It's been a lot of word of mouth. And we're building content. And so interestingly, about 50% of the people who come and get a demo, schedule a demo with me, are finding us on Google searches, which is really positive.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's really great.
Surprising because we're not putting a ton of money into marketing yet because we just don't have the resources
Exactly.
quite
So
yet.
you mentioned earlier about, that this country is in a mental health crisis.
Mm-hmm.
Is that COVID? Is that the fallout of COVID, or what do you think?
Oh, I think that we were having a mental health crisis prior
Before
to
that.
COVID. I think
Okay.
COVID really just brought it to a head.
Okay.
And I think, again, some positive things that came out of COVID is that it really has broken down some of the stigma. And people are talking about mental health more. They're not embarrassed to seek it, to talk about
good.
it. And so the need is greater than ever. It's
Wow.
greater than ever.
So that way, I keep going back to your timing is just awesome. I mean, how interesting that you're experiencing this glut in patients. You're like, I need a solution. Your husband knows how to code. He's been with startups.
I know,
He
like-
builds this really cool solution. I don't know. I just think it's such a cool story.
Yeah.
How all these pieces have lined up for you. Then you're using things like Innovation Works in order to help get the company formed and started. So I feel like you're really using all of Pittsburgh's ecosystem here in order to start selling your product and then helping therapists take on more clients, help more clients get help. Like, this is a good thing.
It is a great thing.
Yeah.
And being in the Pittsburgh startup scene has been amazing. Both John and I are natives to Pennsylvania. He was
great.
born and raised here in Pittsburgh. I was born and raised in Oil City,
All right.
north a little bit. But so it's just good because our roots are really here.
That's great. And so what are the next 6 months for you? What does it look like?
Oh, wow. Well, so it's really about marketing, getting the word out there, building our customer base, continuing to build the product out for additional functionality to continue to streamline it and save more time for practices so they can do what they love, which is take care of clients.
Yeah,
Right.
so cool. So 2025 is looking pretty
that.
exciting for Admirra and for you and for John. Like, that's so cool.
Yeah, we're very excited about it.
And the thing is, you started this after many years of being in the practice.
Yeah.
So you're just not a newbie getting out of school and saying, I think I know this problem. You know this problem.
No, I've been living it for a long time. So
Yeah, that's such a factor that really just
Right.
puts you ahead of the curve on that, just knowing it and living it for so
Yeah.
many
Great.
years. I see Audrey and I get excited when we
I
see
love
this because
this.
we're like,
It's so
oh,
great.
it's so cool. We get all
so
fired
great.
up.
So if people want to know more, it's admirra.com.
All day long.
Thank
that's
you, Wendy.
correct. Yeah,
Yes.
thanks for
Thanks
having
for your
me.
vision.
Yeah, really appreciate you guys.
We're rooting for you, man. Simple as that. So
Thank
keep on
you.
doing the good work out there for sure.
Yeah.
And Audrey, we got to wind up the show. Can't believe we're going to be hitting to 2025 pretty soon. So we're going to have a lot more tech vibe coming people's way. Just reminding everybody, if you're jonesing for a little more tech vibe, and you can get it whenever you want. Just go over, get your podcast, look for Tech Vibe, and you can download so many podcasts of our interviews over the years.
Great.
Audrey just love having conversations with people like Wendy, building great stuff right here in Pittsburgh. This has been Jonathan Kirsting.
And this is Audrey Rousseau.
We're from the Pittsburgh Technology Council. Go to pghtech.org and check out all the ways we love helping tech companies succeed. Have an awesome Sunday, everybody. Compunetics is the leading developer of unified voice, video, and data collaboration and conferencing applications for the service provider, government, and unique workflow applications. The Summit Olympus and Evergreen platforms, driven by their encrypted user interfaces, enable powerful and secure collaboration. Combined with world-class support and innovative professional services, Compunetics delivers the right solution every time. Learn more at Compunetics.com. Every company needs to attract and keep talented people. To do it, you need a strong company story told by those who experience it every day, your employees. So invite your people to be your brand voice and let the Kindling Culture Agency gather and ignite your stories to engage and attract your people. Learn how at sparksomething.big.com. That's sparksomething.big.com. The Pittsburgh Technology Council has been helping our region's tech companies succeed since 1983. The Pittsburgh Technology Council helps its members meet new customers, hire top talent, make headlines, and have a strong voice in government. From startup to multinational, the PTC helps tech companies and advanced manufacturers of all sizes. See how we can help your venture grow at pghtech.org. That's pghtech.org. Thanks for geeking out with us on TechVibe Radio. Tune in next Sunday for more tech and innovation stories right here from Pittsburgh. TechVibe is brought to you by Compunetics at Compunetics.com, Chorus Call at ChorusCall.com, Highmark at Highmark.com, Huntington Bank at Huntington.com, Kindling at TheKindlingAgency.com, PNC Bank at PNC.com, and Savier at Savier.com. And we're always coming at you from the Huntington Bank Studios.